Hey guys, it is me Sloan. I am going to show you how I made my dope song, Run the World. It is so dope and that's what it is. Run the World. Oh yeah.
Okay. So Run the World was actually just like the first Dayglow song that ever existed. You know, in my young adolescence, I think I was like 17 or something, I wrote Run the World. It's one of the most basic, like, indie guitar progressions of all time. I've seen a lot of people like saying it sounds like something else, and you are correct. It sounds like a lot of other songs. I can actually teach you real quick. Common like chord change in a lot of indie rock, indie guitar music, but we're basically holding the bar, just a bar major chord. You throw your pinky down on the second string up, and then slide it up to a seventh, I think, and then back. So there's like tons of songs that do that same progression. You just do the same thing. Yeah. But the whole entire song through, we're gonna hear that. So let's get used to it. We've got Rock the Mics, good. A preset I guess I really enjoyed, Pan Left and Right. And we've got that chord progression I was talking about. It's actually a pretty bad loop. Both of the recordings are at such different input levels. But doesn't matter, it's rock and roll, baby. Literally throughout the whole song, that's all the guitars do, that exact loop copy and pasted. Except for the like pre-choruses, in which it does this other chord progression, pan left and right, with an echo added to it. Yeah, kind of a fun fact and tool for those of you who are recording and possibly don't have a bass in your possession but want to record some real bass sounds that aren't just like the thumb pick bass like option that Logic has, because I don't really like the sound of like natural bass samples, you know what I mean? Y'all know what I mean? Producers, you hear me out? I don't like ever really when like bass, I don't need to dive into that. This bass throughout the song is just those eighth note hitting the two chords. Like B and E, those are the two chords in the song. It's actually me playing those two notes on guitar. And Logic has in their pedal board right here, if it opens up, this pedal called Dr. Octave, which can make whatever you're recording an octave lower. So if you want a bass sound, just record with your guitar, single notes, throw it into Dr. Octave, and you've got kind of a pretty good bass sound. For the synth parts, there's just one like little organ that's going back and forth between B. And anytime the synth shows up, it's just that copy and pasted, so, you know. So for the drums, we've got these hats. Then I added this like delay thing. Tambourine and a tambourine hit. And a shaker. And obviously the drums. And this is all MIDI, just like Logic drumming samples. And they're all like compressed. At the time I was using this free plugin called Camel Crusher, which I guess I don't have anymore. It's not even showing up, but it's free. It's like a distortion. It's a distortion plugin for those of you who are looking for a free, good distortion plugin. Okay, vocals. Just like pretty raw. Here we've got the left and right that we do in every song.
So pessimistic, so narcissistic.
Just like a dry sound, one in the middle.
So pessimistic.
That's an octave higher.
So narcissistic. So.
And one that's just fully the echo.
So pessimistic. So narcissistic. So cynical. Welcome to my own little world of false commitment. Oh, I never listen.
Yeah, and the pre-chorus part where it breaks down, it goes into this telephone vocal preset that Logic has.
Oh, I don't think that I could be the one that you want me to be. It's hard for me sometimes to see the light inside my love. And I.
So for the choruses, where it's like a group chant, it is just hecka layered. I didn't have like a bunch of people in studio to yell I just had one friend over, and then we just together just like panned a bunch of them left and right. So we did 4 takes together, then I did 3 on my own, and it turned out to sound like this.
And I wanna run the world. I wanna run the.
And so for processing like the group ones, it's like just a little bit of reverb to make it feel like it's in a room that's big, when in reality it was just my bedroom. Something I haven't really shared is like how I process the entire track, so the master. For everything with Fuzzy Brain, I wanted it to feel like it had like a fuzzy like tape sound. I love the sound of like tape harmonics and saturation, and so on the stereo outs, I would add like a simple EQ that Logic has called Enhanced Mix, that just like brightens up the mix overall. And in this song kind of drives it, makes it sound distorted, so more rock and roll. And I have this plugin called J37, which emulates a tape machine. It's a Waves plugin. I think it's like $30. And I just run everything through it to make it sound like it's going through tape. And I use this plugin on individual tracks a lot too, because it has like a good slap delay if you're using that on vocals, or if you want to saturate something to make it sound like it's going through tape. This does a pretty freaking good job. But that's literally the song. I mean, it's a pretty simple. I know I keep saying that these songs are simple, but this is a pretty simple song. I was definitely still just learning how to write, so it holds a special place in my heart, but I definitely think of it differently than the other songs. And I haven't really in these videos gone into like the intent and integrity of the songs, and like why I wrote the lyrics, and like why I did XYZ. I'm just kind of showing the technical side, because I feel like that's really ultimately what I think about the most. This song is kind of like, in my mind, just like a meme. I don't know if you can tell by like everything I do and talk about it, but yeah, I think the whole concept of like wanting to run the world, this song is ultimately just about like knowing that someone thinks this about you, and you're like, well, how do I respond to it? And so it's just this whole like back and forth of ego and narcissism that like, I don't know, I feel like everybody experiences a little bit in their life, just this feedback loop of like, I'm not narcissistic, but I'm being told that I'm narcissistic, so am I narcissistic? And if they're telling me that I'm narcissistic, does that make them narcissistic if I'm not narcissistic? Maybe. And at the end of the song, we do that whole tape delay fun warp thing. And this is actually the first song that I freaking figured out how to do this. And I just got obsessed with like warping delay and stuff. But on this track, at the end of the song, That's fun. Well, people, that is the song. Thanks for watching. I will be back next week. I don't know if y'all have caught on, but I'm just going through the track list chronologically, so I don't know if that's the right word, but I'm just going through the track list straight up. And so next week I'll be doing Fair Game. I think I'm gonna do the whole album. I think I'm gonna do the whole album. Don't forget, to reach out if you have any questions or things you specifically want me to go into on the songs, because I'm a bored young man. I'm trying to think of an outro I could do. I don't have anything. See you next week. Yeah.